Hey, folks, just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole. The statements in the following broadcast are not necessarily the opinions of the Madness Comic Network, its staff, sponsors, or contributors. This show is rated TVMA, as are all of them and all those other letters. Viewer discretion is highly advised, and, just do what Doc says. Read that again. Peace, everybody.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting. But also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
The future. The final frontier. It has never been so uncertain as now. AI, VR, haptic wear, nanotechnology, mass destruction with a remote click. Now we are finally seeing the true potential and dangers of an ever-connected and overly policed hyper-technological world. Have we finally become the architect of our own demise? Is there still hope? Welcome to the future. Welcome to Punk Droid.
The Madness Comic Network and comic-related madness proudly presents Madness Tuesday Morning Brew. Tune in to our content on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday. Thank you for joining me from rainy Texas. It's hot, it's humid, my hair is giant. One of those days. I wanted to say thank you real quick to Frisco Public Library for hosting a nice Comic-Con over the weekend. They had so much stuff going on. It was nuts. They had like anime trivia, Marvel trivia. They had a concert from he was a singer that sang for like Disney shows. And then they had Super Smash Brothers tournaments. They had they Star Wars appreciation. They had a D&D campaign. They were teaching parents about Pokemon cards and why should you care and which ones to look for. And then there was myself and about another 12 creators. And we were together in Artist Alley and we had a blast. Got to see Terry Parr. Shout out to Terry Parr. We had a good time laughing about anything, everything in indie comics these days. He's a good guy. So it was nice to see Terry. I've seen him a couple times. And then another shout out. I want to say happy anniversary to my brother and my sister-in-law. They are celebrating their first anniversary. Last year at this time, we were getting ready for their wedding and had a blast. That was a beautiful day. We were outside in beautiful Michigan. And I remember that day as just being one that went down in the best days, the top 10 best days ever. So shout out to them. I hope they have a nice anniversary today. They are expecting their first child and should be soon. So that's my personal life. Path of the Pale Rider. The buttons came in. Yay! Buttons. So anybody that was on hold because of buttons, all your stuff has gone out. So every box has been fulfilled. I got to deliver Charles Boyer. Sir, I have a delivery for you. I have all of your things. And he's last. Everybody else has gotten all their things and it's gone out into the world. So we are all caught up, which means it's time to start again. So we're going to be launching issue number 5 campaign on June the 14th, which is like 10 days from now. Oh my God. And I got so much stuff left to do. The biggest thing I need to accomplish maybe this week is the Kickstarter welcome video. And, I didn't have Ellie in it last time, but we will have Ellie in it this time. I feel like she's so much a part of the fandom at this point. We're going to have Ellie interrupt. That's what she does, right? So we'll have to decompose Ellie a bit, and I have some things planned. So I want to try and knock that out this week. I'll probably hint at some things, but I'm so excited. I've been starting to release some of the really cool variant covers. I released the William Russell cover. I released the Victor Medina cover. There are 3 more covers coming on this issue, and 2 of them are done. 1 is still in the works. They're all kick-ass, and I'm so sorry to my readers because you're going to have one hell of a time trying to pick which one you want. Or you can do like I do and just get them all. That's what I love about it is I get one of each. And then the A cover will be wooden. So we're skipping the metals this time. We're going into wooden covers. I'm hyped about that. I got some more things up my sleeves that I have not released yet. I'm excited. So as we get closer to, I'll start to reveal some of these secrets I have up my sleeves. We're going to have more poker cards. We're going to have more hot sauce. The new t-shirt is super funny. And of course it has Big James on it. So we got lots of things coming. So I'm super excited. So make sure you're following, my YouTube channel, the social media, the Facebook group. Get in there because we're having a fun time. Don't miss out. So anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about my guest today. I'm so excited. If you know this gentleman, he has 2 names, a man with 2 names. Which one Which one though? He put both on his. Look, he is
Hey.
Nem David Howard. Welcome. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I want to say happy anniversary to
my
them
brother.
as well. Yes.
Thank you.
I remember the first time I interviewed you, as a matter of fact, I
Mm-hmm.
think you were just getting ready to go to the
go?
wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was,
Yeah.
I guess, a little over a year ago. So
It was. It was. Was
And
that
your book is
that was
released-
it? There was only a year ago? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I
It
think
feels
for
like it was
81
yesterday
World.
and like 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And let's see. And your Kickstarter is coming out the week or the day before my anniversary. So there's that.
Oh, hey. And
Yeah.
your campaign starts next week. So
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
so
Although my
all
wife and
sorts
I
of
have been
stuff
married
going
a little bit longer than a year. I'll just put it at that. So.
on. Me too. I'm with you.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, our campaign kicks off next Monday. In fact, we are going to go and officially kick off our campaign on the Monday Madness. So,
Oh, so cool.
yeah.
I love launch streams and I love countdowns. Those are my
Yep.
two favorite shows to do. Just I get all pumped up, to celebrate success and to
Yes.
help, fellow indie, get out there into the world, get more attention, find audience. And then because it's the hardest thing we do is to put ourselves out there, and pushing that launch button is like so nerve-wracking. Unless you're someone that's been in the business for 14 years and you know who you are, where it's just like, I don't care, it'll get funded. Like
Yeah.
the rest of us are always panicking. I don't know about you, but I mean, I've succeeded every one, but still I'm always like, oh God, here we go.
I will tell you this. I don't sleep much on a regular night. On nights before something is about to happen, like this interview where I'm excited and geared up, I don't sleep at all. I slept an hour last night.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
with the campaign coming up, I haven't been sleeping, period. So it's just, it's like,
Oh.
what do I do this? I want to do another t-shirt design. Now I need to do this. I need to fix that. I need to get on top of that. I need to do, it's all of those things, but it's a good excited. So,
I'm with you. I'm ramping up into that, or I'm like, my brain, as I'm falling asleep, thinks of all the things that I need to do.
Well,
like, you really need to do that Kickstarter video, Laurie. God, be creative.
I am 52 years old and still can't sleep the night before Christmas. So I don't think that's ever going
Oh.
away. So,
That's cute.
yeah. My wife was like, I'm like, always like, I can't get to sleep. She's like, and this is new. How? So,
Yeah.
So she's used to it. But yeah,
Well-
I mean, I'm very excited to bring this book to the world. And, it's just one of those things. It's like, you worry about it though. It's like, I want to get it funded because I want to give this out to everybody and have them see it, so.
By the way, let's say hi to the chat. Oh, Mr. Bracey is here. Hi, Jeff.
Yes.
So what is Path of the Pale Rider anyway? We did a D&D campaign together. And of course, my ad is always, we do so many things with Path of the Pale Rider. It's like, what the heck is it? You know what I mean? Is it a comic book? Is it a role play? Is it a cosplay merch? What are you doing here? And so his answer is always like, what is Path of the Pale Rider anyway? So this is just an ongoing thing.
After an
morning,
hour
Lou.
of sleep, I think I'm on the path of the Pale Rider. So
That's not good. That's not good.
No, it's not. But it is what
Hello,
it is,
Arlise, good morning. Yeah, if you're on the path of the Pale Rider, God help you, sir. Gonna need some help. Yeah.
If you've read any of my horror novels, I don't know that there's much help for me, but
No.
that's another thing.
See, we've talked about other stories that Nem has written, OPSEC being one of them, and like the creepy dolls and like your history with that. But
Yeah.
and I think that last time we had you on the show, we kind of touched on what this book is. And because I was like, when you send me the PDF, I was looking at the pages. I'm like, I've seen this before. I was like, we must have talked about this. But then Nem was gracious enough to send me the whole thing. And so I got to read it and I was like, oh man, there's so much more here.
I
There's so
realized
much more.
just before you went live, that I sent you an old version of the PDF, but it's all right. The art and
Darn it.
the lettering and everything are fine. So,
Okay.
yeah, so that's fine.
NEM. Good morning,
Hey, what's up, Hugo?
Hugo, yours was one of the boxes that was the last 4 because you had buttons. So it's on the way, dude. You got buttons and hot sauce and all the good stuff. I'm excited. Good morning, friends.
I couldn't help but NEM this comic a little bit because I would show sneak peek of a couple pages, but I think I keep most of it under wraps because, well, you've read the digital comic now. I think there are some things that I definitely didn't want to show because if I did, it would spoil the whole comic. So and I didn't want to do that.
Why is it that NEM looks like a 1940s Western villain? Is it the mustache?
Probably.
Or is it the Big James t-shirt he's wearing, guys?
Yes, look at that.
Hey, so cool.
See, I am on the path of the Pale Rider with the mustache. So all I need is my black hat now, and I'll be ready to go.
You just need a hat, and then you'll be there. Good morning. Yeah, everybody's here. I saw that. Oh, cool. I'm excited. I know. I was like, Hugo.
Although I have to say, I guess he gave this to everybody, but I got a hot sauce taster pack.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So,
that one's the barbecue ghost pepper, Path of the Pale sauce. So it's it's medium, I would say. It depends on your tolerance. Pops, who's in the back, he says it's mild. For me, it has some heat. I like to taste my food though, so I don't make anything super hot because I like to taste my food.
Now, I have to mention, and Jeff just rightly slapped me a little bit. Yeah, Jeff is my art director in Rain.
We haven't gotten that far yet, Jeff. We're getting there.
He's my art director in Raincross, and he did the main cover for this book, which unfortunately the PDF I sent you doesn't have Jeff's cover. So
sorry, Jeff.
So, I may present the cover to bring up later. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
World at War Comics is another really great show, by the way. It's a great show.
I'm doing the rounds. You may see a lot of me over the next month. So I apologize now.
On nuggets.
Yes.
Oh, Hugo, you missed it. I was gonna say I'm gonna have Ellie in the next Kickstarter welcome video. She's gonna make an appearance, and she'll push all. She's gonna push all the buttons. So just wait, just wait.
But yeah, for Jeff did all of the art design on the characters before we handed it over to our artist. He's the guy, like I said, he's my partner in this. So we have sat many hours late into the night talking about the world as a whole and what we want to do with it. And he's drawing a comic in this series called Fellhand. In fact, there's an ad for Fellhand at the back coming soon of the PDF. So he is up to his neck in Blood World. So
okay, I was gonna say I thought one of the images was his because he shared it.
Yep.
I might have that one. We'll see. What?
Oh,
okay.
It's all right. I need a slap. I need a slap at this early in the morning. So
I know. I think we're kind of like seeing all the shiny things, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm on cold medicine. I'm full of snot. It's gross. So if I kind of like venture off into nowhere, we'll just get back on track. So anyway, when we start the show, we usually do the origin story. And now you've been on the show before. Look, squirrel. That's basically me today. And it's tiny things. Ooh. So anyway, so we've talked about OPSEC before, but let's recap for everybody that maybe hasn't met you before. How we know each other, like where you come from, what your other stories that you write, and then we'll dig into Blood World. I'm excited for that.
So like I said, I think I met you more than a year ago, but I interviewed you for the first time a little over a year ago. And I met you through Any One World on ASAP Imagination. And since then, we crossed paths quite a bit,
Yeah,
and
all the time.
I will say this now. This is genuinely from the heart. I feel blessed to know you. It is cool to be part of the indie comic community and then to be part of the community that you're part of as well. So Madness and Indie One World and everything. And through all of that, I've met so many cool people. So it's been quite a blessing in that regard. So as far as how we have met, I mean, we've met through those podcasts. We've been on some virtual cons together. You've interviewed me. I've interviewed you, you know, so it's just, it just keeps going back and forth. It's like balls in my court. In fact, I will give you all a little heads up. We are going to be recording a Noon with NEM in next week? So, or the week after. So, so to air
back together.
for your Kickstarter. So it's just this whole thing. We're going to take the show on the road. We're opening at the MGM Grand next year.
Yeah.
So, you know, this whole thing. So, but as far as how I got into all this, you know, we've touched on this before, but I've always been a writer, or wanted to be a writer from an early age. I started.
Stop, you guys.
Nooners with them. No, Noon with them. That's a whole different show. So, and yeah. All right, I'm going to stop before I get in trouble. So it's too early in the morning for that kind of humor. You go, stop.
You're killing me, Jeff.
Now I'm distracted. I don't know what to do. Let's see. So, yeah, so I've always been a writer. I started writing horror stuff when I was a little kid, like 8, 9 years old. Then went on to other things, and then decided to get a real job, and then joined the Army, and then got a real job after that. And then eventually I was like, yeah, you know, my wife kept telling me, you need to write. And I was like, write is not a real job. And it's still not a real job, but it's a real job for me. So, you know, so, and then I met Paul Hayden, Hades.
Yeah.
And he asked me to write OPSEC. And I was part of a group at the time that was also kind of a support group to motivate you and get you going on stuff. And I decided to turn one of my many novel manuscripts into a finished novel, which is published now through ASAP Imagination and is going other places as well. It's also in Barnes and Noble now, and the equivalent of Barnes and Noble in the UK, which I don't know the name of. And yeah, you know,
I have to remember those too. People are like, what stores are you? I'm like, the ones in the UK. They're like, which ones? And I'm like, the NIMBY Pimby.
Yeah.
Like, I need to write it down.
Yes.
Tilly's?
So
that one.
That sounds right. And there's one in Canada too. I forget what it's called in Canada. So, but yeah, you know, so, yes.
Indigo.
So all of that happened, and then I was like, you know, I've got this other idea, and it was for the science fiction setting, because my two big loves, well, in reading are science fiction and fantasy and horror. And I had this idea, and I was going to make it into a novel series, but I'm already writing a horror novel series, and writing more than one novel series at times seems like quite a stretch at this point in my life. So, and then I started thinking, I was like, I think this would be better as a comic book. And then these other guys that I know, Jeff Bracey being one of them, I was pitching this idea to them. They're like, tell us more about this universe. I started telling them about it, about this whole concept and what I had done with it. And they were like, I want to write stories in this too. And I was like, okay, well, pitch me your ideas. And they started pitching me ideas. And so Blood World became more than just my novel. It became a setting that people want to write stories in. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've actually written over 600 pages of history and tech specs and stuff for it. You know, starting from the year 2017, going all the way to where we're going to pick up on the story and where you drop in on the comic book, which is the year 2587. So the whole history of the world and the tech specs and everything that happened that brought humanity from where we were living in 2017 to then, I've basically written down, or at least outlined. God. Yeah. So.
That's crazy. I just have trouble writing journal entries for Jude St. Clair. I was like, I got to write another one of these. But you're like, for the last 600 years, this is what humanity has been doing. Oh my God. That's a lot of work.
It was so fun. And it was something I wanted to do for a long time. And I didn't get a chance to do it with the horror story because they sort of did it. Like I knew what had happened for like 30 or 40 years before the long game because it's part of the plot.
Yeah.
But for this, like I remember reading and watching documentaries about Tolkien and Herbert with Dune and how they created a whole world before they wrote anything. I was like, I want to try that. And I think that's what kind of sold the other guys that want to write in the setting as well, is that they would throw questions off me. It's like, well, how does, like, for instance, one question Jeff asked me one time is, how does space travel work? You know? And I was like, oh, it works this way. They have grav drives. He said, well, what does that mean? I said, basically the ships aren't pushed, they're falling all the time. So they project a gravity field in front of them and it pulls them along, and then they move it around their ship to move around and stuff like that. And that those gravity drives, because we've managed to sort of, you know, take that technology and perfect it, also does shields and stuff like that. So then what do weapons look like then? So because you can't fire, yeah, so you do all that stuff. And so it's real fun to do that and just sit down and so like this is following the monarchy. So I went from the year the monarchy was formed till now and outlined who all the kings and queens were and how they died and what they did and everything like that. And so just really cool stuff. That's the kind of stuff that George R.R. Martin would do. So that's how I describe it to people. I'm like, take a little bit of Game of Thrones, a little bit of Dune, and mash them together. And that's what this comic book is Phoenix Throne. So
and add some mech.
Yeah. Well, everything needs more mechs, right? So
did I mention my husband's name is Dominic?
No.
I'm reading your story and I was like, oh no. I was like, we're gonna have a problem here. By the way, hello to Devil's Air. We saw you. I apologize. We saw you there. Mr. Bracey, of course, back in there. Glenn Fleming, Laurie. Hello, Glenn. Hello. Love you, sir. Oh, if you would love to show me some love, hit that like button. You can always subscribe to my YouTube channel. History of the World Part 1. Yes. This is Part 1 of 12.
Well, now we're going to have to get Jeff to get Glenn, your husband's head, and draw it on top of Baron Dominic Chabot's armor and send it to you. That's what we're going to have to do. So.
Dominic is already drawn into my comic book as well. He had the misfortune of being related to me. So when we started doing the short films, I was like, you're going to act in the short film. And so he was cast as the news reporter, the what you call it, the news anchor. So, and then Marco, when he started drawing the comic, there's a part with Jude St. Clair and his mom are watching the TV and like watching all the bad news. And the news reporter is Dominic.
Nice.
So I was like, we have this whole meta thing where it's like the characters watch the stuff that we've done in the short films in the comic book and then vice versa. So things kind of like are circular. It's really neat. But yeah, I would love to see Dominic with some long hair in that pose. This is the pose I'm talking about. This one.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that would be great. Mr. Bracey, I need you to do that.
And that is Jeff's cover
ribs.
Right there that he did.
What are we doing with ribs? Oh, some big James spare ribs today. Falling off the bone.
See,
okay.
But does that mean that we need to replace the princess's face with your face there in the cover as
that
well?
would be weird. Do it. I mean, why not? I mean, I got the hair for it. Right.
The Laurie Calcaterra cover. It'll be the super secret variant that we'll offer.
Super secret variant. You could switch me for her and no one would even notice.
And we'll put a big James plushie in there.
Zombified pops. What's with the zombified pops?
It's your show. I figured I'd come out zombified. It's gonna be worse next time, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got to keep looking worse and worse and worse as time goes on.
I'm gonna have to learn some practical self.
Pretty soon, I'm just gonna be a pile of bones.
I mean, that would be funny too, just to be like, Ellie, what do you have to say? And it's just a skeleton. This is the best she's behaved the whole time.
Yeah.
Nothing to say, Ellie? No chicken nuggets? Nothing.
I just wanted to come out and say hi to Nem here and confirm, yes, we will be doing a launch party for this book on June 10th on Monday Madness.
Yes.
Mark that on your calendar, yo.
Sweet.
That's a good show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Since we have this up here, let's show off some of the beautiful art that is in this. I got to rearrange my screens here. This one needs to be smaller. This one needs to be bigger. There we go. All right. So there it is in color, people, too.
Yeah.
I definitely got the Dune vibe when I was reading this.
With the houses and everything. Yeah.
With the houses, it's kind of like, different houses, and then like with the technology. Because in Dune, they have like the sand crawlers, the still suits. They use, different type of technology to aid them. Even though it's like, it seems like it's basic, they're still using things like sand compressors and thumpers, and you know what I mean, where they use this technology.
The really cool part is that this is like only one. There's three main factions in the universe, and then a bunch of like people just trying to live their ordinary lives that are out there as well. But these guys are all about. That's the super big cover that Laurie was like, it's too big. I was like, I'm sorry.
I was like, I can't get it all on the page. Doesn't even let me. I don't know what I did, but it doesn't let me shrink it anymore. But look, that looks like a still suit for sure.
Yep. And that's back on Earth. So, so what's going on Earth is different. And then the main enemies of the Ganymede monarchy are in orbit around Saturn. And they're a piece of work as well. And they're all about manipulating the human genome to do stuff. So, so you got Ganymede is about putting technology into your body and perfecting humanity that way. The other group is about, mutating humans through genetic manipulation to do stuff. And then on Earth, the only people that normal, quote unquote, normal people left on Earth don't know how to live in the technology there. So it's like Idiocracy, that movie. But the true rulers of the planet are the mutated humans that are roaming the Earth now. And Jeff is the one tackling that. So
is that this person here in the background?
Yes. Yep. So
creepy.
So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. And then, and then there's lots of cool things that I would like to go to eventually that I've mentioned kind of in passing. And some of the guys know a little bit about it, like the Hermetic Dawn, which is the plasma collectors around Mercury, and the pleasure houses of Venus. Although that might be for Hugo for the OnlyFans book or something. But, so but we have all that different stuff going on. So there's a lot of places to go. It's just a question of when we get there, So it's like first this book gets out of the way, and then we just keep building on it, and we get these series. I am planning on writing short stories in this and publishing those as well. So getting those out there.
Oh my gosh, Nem. That was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today. We won't talk about it right now, but just all the different things that you do. How do you do them all? And I feel like, you got to have a clone somewhere in order to get all this stuff done. But I mean, like, I love how it's space, and yet the way that they talk to each other is interesting. You know what I mean? Like this is the military talking to each other, but and I'm not going to show when we get, later on into the story, but the way that the royalty talks to each other, where they're intermixing like that, almost like royal, pretentious, vocabulary intermixed with all these technical and like technology. It's very interesting. It's an interesting read, the juxtaposition of the two together, where it's like, the monarchy in France telling you about this technology that doesn't exist yet.
And it's only in passing at the beginning of this book, but later on in this mini series for this first arc, you're going to also find out that there is a where all these guys came from, where the Ganymede monarchy came from, and why religion is part of it. And then how religion, all of humanity's religions are kind of centered here on this planet and have taken on a technology overtone. So all technology is controlled by the church, called the Ecclesiastes. And they're the only ones that are allowed to develop technology. And they owe their allegiance to the queen.
Yes.
But everybody is trying to undermine that. So that's like this. It's I don't want to give too much away because I'll never.
Right.
But
and that's where I saw like the Game of Thrones, where it's like everybody's gunning for that chair, everybody's gunning for that position. And I won't say what happens at the end, but I was just like, oh my God. And I was just like, what does he want here? Is it the power? What is he in search of? You know what I mean? Because there was just so much meaning behind that last page.
And one of the cool parts is there is a panel in the book where the Baron, Dominic, is taking a jab at his cousin, who's the Queen Elizabeth, and he calls her the royal broodmare. Well, I will give this away. Against royal convention and society's conventions, she decided to give birth to her children naturally instead of having them grown in a vat. And so that's considered a huge scandal, you know, and you'll find out more about that later in another issue. But it's a huge scandal. And, you know, all of society is gossiping about the queen that actually grew a child inside of her. How dare her, you know, and stuff like that.
I kind of got it when they were talking about it. It was like, oh, they don't even do that anymore. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting book. There's a lot going on. And I could get that just from the first few pages. I was like, oh my goodness. And then when you get into some of the conversation about what's going on after this fight, it's like, okay, this is going to be big. So
I love on the previous page, that one panel where there's so many ways to get killed in war here. But in this one, the guy like hits him with kind of almost like a taser, and then uploads a virus, and there's so much technology in your body that he just killed him by putting a virus into a computer virus in his body.
Yeah.
So,
he shut down his hardware.
Yeah. Which I just think is crazy cool, especially, you know, when we're living in a time now where we're just starting this, whether we want to admit it or not, with Elon Musk putting chips in people's heads, you know, no, thank you for me, but you know.
Yeah, the technology is on the cusp of something else right now.
Yeah. And that's why it was so fun to write this history, because I was looking back in 2017. I was like, what happens if we do this and we do that? And, you know, and so like, for instance, originally this wasn't going to be the first story I was going to tell. I was going to tell a story about an assassin over on the genetic engineering side. And those assassins are called Blood Race. And I'm still planning on doing that comic and that story. But they have the ability to real-time change their DNA to do whatever they want, basically. But when it goes wrong, it could go all wrong. So they just dissolve into genetic goo. Yeah. So
thank you, Jeff, for that. No comment. Yes, and I agree with this. If you haven't read The Long Game, that's another novel that that NEM has written that is really good. And again, starts out with like controversial, and then it takes off, and there's other things going on. So I think that you do such a great job of getting people in and then developing this story, and then you find out so much more is going on. This isn't your typical, you know, oh, we're going to punch some dude in the face and then the bad guy just wants to kill everybody and then we beat him, the end. There's so much more. There's so much more going on here.
Thank you. I like to do the most, my wife knows this from long experience.
Apparently you do have a clone. Oh,
nice.
Go ahead.
My wife knows from a long experience that the most dangerous question I ever ask is, what if? I'll be like sitting there and I'll be like, what if this happened? It's how Long Game came about. I was watching something. I said, what if? And there was a question that went with it. And then it turned into a novel. this was the same thing. I was reading, I think, a Science Journal article about genetic engineering. I was like, what if the whole world was based on that? And then it just ballooned from there. You know, it's always dangerous. And when my wife hears me say it, she's like, he's going to go off into his own world for the next 2 days or something. So.
Yeah, you're like, I'll make a pot of coffee. You'll be by the window with your notebook.
Yeah. And the worst part is I'll sit there and she's taking a picture of it. I sit there and I'm actually like this, just looking, and I'm oblivious. I'm one of those men that once I get in my thoughts, the house could be falling down and I'm just like zoned in, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I need that, man. I still need to find like some quiet. Maybe I need to go somewhere else because I'm always at home and there's always something going on. Because even if it's not my kids, it's my dog. My husband works from home. And I'm just like, I need to find that quiet space where I could just be like, even if it's Starbucks, man.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I wonder sometimes if it's a difference between men and women, though, because my wife has an ability to multitask that I could never achieve. She could be, it drives me nuts. Like we're watching a movie. If I'm watching something, I've got to focus completely on the movie and all of my focus is there. She's watching the movie, texting on her phone, playing a game, reading a book, ironing something out. I'm like, what in the world? So
that was me last night. I was working on my Kickstarter page and I went to the preview, and for some reason all the GIFs that I had uploaded, none of them were there. Like you could look at the page and the GIFs were just not there. So I had to delete them all, and then I had to make them because they're all they were different size than like if you just generally made them. And the fourth one was missing out of my hard drive. So I had to make them all again so they were all the same size. It's not like, 3 are small and 1 is giant. So I'm sitting here making GIFs last night and I'm typing on Facebook and I'm playing a game on my phone at the same time.
See, I can't get it. And to be honest with you, there are times that it drives me nuts because I'm like, are you even watching the show? Do you know what's going on? And she's like, oh yeah, this is this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, how? So
my brain does it. But when I want to write, I feel like I need to turn all of that off and just immerse myself in the world. And a lot of times with Path, what I'll do is I'll sit down and I'll reread so I can really get into that. Like, okay, where am I in the story? And I need to do that. Like, it's one of those things. I don't know about you, but I'm always like, what if I get hit by a bus tomorrow? And I haven't put it on paper. Like, it's all in here, but it's not on paper. And so if someone was like, hey, Laurie's dead, but we can still make her comic book in her honor, here's how it would go. But you can't do it if you don't write it down, right?
I'm taking it with me to the grave. That's it.
Are you? Oh my God. Or you could just be like George R.R. Martin, be like, I'm never writing again.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Don't get
me
like, started.
We're writing, but we're just not going to release it to the public. Like, come on. It's been decades.
I just think it's funny that there are still those sweet summer children out there who believe that last book is going to be written. So, or those last 2 books are going to be written. So he's never coming back to Game of Thrones.
He got his money. I mean, it would be, if he was smart, he would do it.
Yeah.
Because nobody was happy with what the showrunners did. We would all read it just to stick it to the showrunners and be like, that's not what was supposed to happen. Right? Because nobody liked it. So
I will say though, if you like George R.R. Martin's reading, as good as Game of Thrones, the books were, he wrote a superhero series before, like years ago.
Really?
Yeah, called the Playing Card series, where people, because that was how it was used colloquially. But you would be, people would talk, you got dealt an ace, which meant basically you had like Superman powers, or you could get dealt a Joker where you have powers, but they're horrible, and people get dealt powers. And, but it's really, really good. It's really good. So they're really good books.
I'll have to check it out. I wanted to get Battle Royale, the graphic novel. Because I was talking about that with my colorist, Matt Chambers, and he was like, it's super good. He's like, compared to the movie, compared to like Hunger Games, like this is where it all started. And so I'm like, I definitely want to read that. So I have that on my list. And then my daughter has this series called Gregor the Overlander. on her
Mhm.
list, and it's written by Suzanne Collins, who again wrote The Hunger Games, and it's just it's YA, but I kind of want to read it. I don't know.
You
I
know
like
what?
Suzanne Collins.
There's nothing wrong with reading YA though. I read YA all
Right,
the time. You know,
right.
so one of my favorite series. I like this guy in general, but and now I'm gonna blank on his name. The guy who wrote the Percy Jackson series.
Oh, yeah, I haven't read those, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he's written several series that had to do with mythology, which I love, but one of the best, he wrote 3 books called the Kane Chronicles about Egyptian mythology and Egyptian
Interesting.
magic. It was really good. Really good. So yeah, I liked it. It was really good.
Yeah.
But I'll read anything,
Yeah,
So
I will
I just
too. I like fantasy. Like I'm like you, sci-fi and horror. I love those supernatural stories. Love it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I'm all there, and I'll watch and read and consume all of that media if I can. I might not have nice things to say about it all, but
Yeah. We won't
when
go
I'm
there.
done, I'm just, like, because I read Twilight and I was just like, I hated Bella. By the end, I was like, can I punch Bella in the face? And then I think I saw like the first 2 movies, and I was like, I can't. They're just so bad. Like you can't even make me watch it. It's like, oh, but I read them all.
I'm curious if you'd agree with this, but people have asked me, it's like, what's, if my kid wants to be a writer, what should they do? Or if I want to be a writer, what should I do? I said, the first thing is read,
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
always my recommendation. Read,
yeah,
read.
yeah,
Find out what's good.
yeah.
Um,
And you learn how to use language that way, all the
yeah.
different ways people do stuff. So, like, hey, what's going on? I love writing action the way R.A. Salvatore does in his Dritz
This is true.
books, but I also love writing dialogue the way Kevin Smith does it in his movies, and the way God, what now I'm blanking on his name. It's early, folks. He wrote Fafford and the Grey Mouser. So when Fafford and the Grey Mouser would talk back and forth, the way they would banter, I love
Yeah.
writing dialogue like that, So it's like, I always tell my wife, it's like, if I could write something half as good as like Frank Herbert's Dune, I'll die a happy man, So that's what I
Yeah.
hope this turns out to be. But
I have that same aspiration. I kind of did the same thing with my story, where it's like I made the world first and then
Mhm.
wrote the story of Jude through that world. But I feel like creating the world and working out all the rules will help before you start, making the path for your protagonist. So you know what
Yeah.
they can and can't do.
I
Constantly breaking your own rules is not a good thing.
it's just my opinion, but I think it's so cool because you're already giving yourself a canvas to paint on,
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going on, and then your characters just interact with the world that you already know how it's going to work, So
I'm laughing at Jeff, who says he watched all the Twilight movies. Why?
I'm sorry. Wasn't Twilight roughly around the same time as Underworld? That's how I like my female vampires
Yes,
and everything.
I
Underworld.
prefer that too. Wearing
Yeah.
leather and kicking ass.
Yeah, give me Kate Beckinsale
Mhm.
any day of the week.
Any day.
Yeah, so
I'm with
that
you.
that was awesome. Plus, I have to say, I used to play the vampire role-playing game, and I don't understand how White Wolf didn't sue the people who created Underworld, because they stole the whole concept of the White Wolf games and put it in Underworld. So,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Like the whole relationship between the wolf and the vampire, all of it. And she was the daughter of wow.
Well, not the specific story, but the whole world. They stole it completely and put it in there. I mean, the vampires are a specific vampire clan, the Ventru. The lichens, the relationship between lichens and vampires, exactly the same in the White World, in their book. The way humans study them, everything in there, even some of the weapons are the same. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, come up with your own ideas, man.
Yeah.
Morbid curiosity and then a train wreck addiction. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm with you, Carrie. And I mean, like, I'm that person where I'm like, I haven't seen The Notebook, have no intentions of seeing The Notebook. Like, those kind of movies just don't appeal to me. I want to see John Wick,
Oh God,
right?
John
I
Wick.
want to see all
Love
the
those
gun
movies.
fu. That's what I
Yes.
want to see.
All right.
Um,
Well, since you said gung fu, I have to ask. I know
yeah.
we're going off topic, but this is how it always
Shiny
is when we
things.
talk.
This is how the show is
Yeah.
today.
Did you ever see the movie Equilibrium?
Yes. I love that
Ah.
movie. Such a good movie. If you guys haven't seen Equilibrium, it's Christian Bale, Sean Bean, and Taye
Yes.
Diggs. And it's fabulous. What's the actress? I forget her
I
name.
don't remember her name.
Dominic
remember her
Purcell
name.
has like a bit
Yeah,
part in it
yeah.
too.
And here's a spoiler that'll surprise everybody. Sean Bean dies in the movies.
Yeah, you can
Not-
just tally that onto Sean Bean's career. I think
Yeah.
he hold the Guinness World Record for dying in the most amount of films. Something
If he
like
does
that.
it, he should. So
I think he's died in something like 30 or 40 films.
yeah. And he started dying in films long before he died as Bormer too. So
Yeah.
it's like,
He's been dying since before it was cool.
yeah. Like I didn't read Game of Thrones before I saw the first season, and then I picked the book up. Someone had given it to me, and it went in my huge stack of fantasy books to read. The first book. And I remember when I saw Sean Bean cast as Ned Stark, and I turned to my son and I said, "Well, he's a dead man." So
You're like, oh, I see what you did here. Because even George R. Martin in an interview was like, I mean, we cast Sean Bean.
yeah,
You guys didn't figure that out? Like,
I know.
he's such a dry sense of humor. He was
Yeah.
like, you guys didn't see it coming. It's Sean Bean. It's Sean Bean.
Back when Game of Thrones was good. So yeah, I said it.
Oh
So.
no.
I try.
Bother
It's
with
so
it.
sad.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You would like it. At least the books. The books are really good. The shows, they're hit or miss. I think like was it the one with the Battle of the Bastards? I think it's season 6 is fabulous. Once they ran out of the book material, it started to go off the rails, in my opinion.
I think season 1 through 4 are all really good. Season 5 is season 6 is pretty good, and then season 7 by the end. Oof.
They should have ended it with the Battle of Winterfell. Like that should have been like run the credits. Run the credits, people. Just pretend there's nothing else after this.
Plus, I don't know. I was loving the beginning of season 7 because I had been waiting forever for Arya to come back and start kicking some ass.
Yeah.
But then I thought she kind of stole John's moment there at one point, and I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't watched it.
That's what I wonder if what was intended, George R.R. Martin had intended for that, because we don't know. You know what I mean? We got the showrunners' version of what they think should have happened, and they were doing things on purpose to be controversial because they wanted twists that made no sense. You know what I mean? So they were just throwing like, hey, we're going to have so-and-so kill so-and-so in this final scene. And we're like, why?
I think I know the answer to this, but did you want Arya to meet Cersei again?
Of course.
Of course. So yeah, it's like
who would not want that? I mean, Arya was such a force of nature. She was great. And with all her training that went into making her who she was unstoppable. So for her to be wandering around King's Landing like in shell shock, I was like, that's not. I mean, like they wanted to show like a dragon attack from her point of view, which I get. Show it from a character's point of view that we're attached to, because then it hits harder. But I felt like she was so focused through everything that she would have been focused there too, you know?
So I know I'm not supposed to be interviewing you, but now I'm going to ask you a question. Do you do the writer thing? Do you do the writer thing a lot and rewrite stuff that you're watching?
All the time.
Yeah.
Like, this sucked. We're going to do it better. All the time. I don't think I did Game of Thrones. I was just like, and just like, we're never watching this again. There's certain things where you just like, we're done with this. But other things you're like, okay, this could have been done so much better. And that's, I think, what turned into a lot of my scripts, where I'm like, like zombies, for example, where I'm like, why does nobody know how this started? Doesn't anybody care? And then that
Yeah.
became my story, right?
See,
Like,
but
you
you
could
did
do better.
you did a what if. So
Exactly.
yeah.
The
So,
twist with the sequel running off the game fan. The twist was the sequel running off the game fan. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to watch that later.
I like House of the Dragon. I'm genuinely excited
like
for
it
season
too.
2. So yeah. One does not simply walk into King's Landing.
That's funny. All right, so we're gonna get back on track. So I
Okay.
wanted to ask you about, and I mentioned this before, like wearing all the hats, because you have OBSEC, you have the long game. Are you currently writing both of those?
Yes. So OPSEC, script 4 is done.
Okay.
It is over to Laurie, and Laurie has about 5 billion things on her plate. So she is going to be editing 4, and then it'll be drawn. So we're waiting on that. So I know what I want to do with the next arc of OPSEC. So 4 wraps up the first arc. It's just a question of I haven't started writing it yet because I don't want to jump ahead of myself. So I'm waiting to see what's going to
Gotcha.
happen. Then long game. Yeah, I have outlined 6 more novels in that series. And I was going to write the next one was going to be called A Time for Wrath. And it was based on a murder at my alma mater, West Point. And I decided to go somewhere else with it. So
Really?
yeah, so I'm going to save that idea for later on in the series and rearrange the books.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so yeah, the next one I'm going to go down south to your way. I'm going to San Antonio. So and yeah, I don't want to give the title away yet
Yeah,
because
no.
yeah,
But that's awesome. That's awesome.
there's something going on in San Antonio. It's not another murder. It's something else. It's pretty insidious. I was working on it the other night, and I was like, this is very, very wrong, and it's very, very right at the same time. So, yeah, so I'm doing that, and then I'm writing short stories still. I'm actually writing a short story collection, a horror short story collection for kids, and I'm writing one for adults. So, 2 different
like,
ones. So,
scary stories to tell in the dark?
Yeah. So I'm writing one that specifically has stuff that is more suitable for kids, but it's still scary. So, but then I'm writing one that is more graphic and really scary for adults. But the one for kids, like some of the horror stories aren't particularly scary. Like my daughter read one of the short stories and thought it was actually sad because it's about a ghost who is constantly getting attached to the families and doesn't understand she's dead. And so when the families move out, her world shifts and changes, you know? And so it's coming to that realization that she's dead and stuck in this house. She can't leave the house the whole time. And then what eventually happens to her. So it's a ghost story, but it's not particularly scary, you know? It's kind of a sad story. So,
well, I'll make sure I read it to my kids, and then I'll send you the therapy bill.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are some other good ones. The title, you're going to make me remember a title off the top of my head.
Do it.
The working title is something like Scary Stories to Read, or no, it's like Tales That Go Bump in the Night, or Things That Go Bump in the Night, Tales of Bogies, Bodkins, and Other Things that, you know, something.
That
so,
boo.
Yeah.
Amazing. Sounds
Bogies,
like a
Bogies, Bodkins, and Banshees. That's it. So
nice.
yes.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's
so then you're working on 3 other projects.
Yeah.
And then you have this.
Yes. And then we're doing Blood World as well. And I've written a script for that. I got a couple other things in the fire as well. I'm working on a script that I'm trying to sell to a local sports team to do some comics for them for their games. So I want to try and do that. And then people have loved Space Monkeys, and Jeff brought this idea up to me the other day and actually started working on the script last night to do a mini comic for Space Monkeys. So
I saw the ad for that one and I was like, oh my gosh. It looks so cool.
yeah,
Let me get the link here so I can drop it. Here we go. I have to push all the buttons, people. Just hang tight. Because I have it in the show notes, but I want to put it in the chat so people can come look with me. Here you go. Here is the linky loo.
yep.
And that
And
will take you to this page right here.
we're going live next Monday. So
That's exciting. I don't need to
Yeah.
embed this code. Thank you. Now, why don't you give us a tour? Walk us around. Let us kick the tires. Take it for a test run.
Absolutely. So we got there's the guy up in the top right is some weirdo that's involved in the project. So yeah. And then that is the campaign video there. It's up on my YouTube page as well, but we've got it embedded into the page here for
I'm gonna play it.
All right, cool.
Reactors bring down crystals to 4.7 megaseconds. 47 fusiliers on approach. Drop ship in 3, 2, 1. 786 Marines, ready to get some. We're in the pipe 5 by 5. Roadship on approach, approaching in Ultima. Watch yourself over their heads. Where's the Queen? Where's the Queen? Goodness, Seamus is Chabot. Picking up a little chop here. Getting some fire from the planet. Shields built. Ready. Shield breach, planet side. Tell the Baron he may start his approach. Baron on approach. Ready to drop next and bodyguard in 5, 4, 3, 2. Secure my left leg. Chabot will take the center. Civilian population past 5. Going to 6. 26 Lancers on station. Orbiting City. Notify the Baron that all civilians have been pacified and are confined to quarters.
You are such a tease. Because I know what's happening in those pictures.
Nice.
That's so funny. Oh man, you guys, if only you knew what I knew, you would know that trailer has so much more meaning than what you just saw.
Yeah. That makes me so happy that you said that. And that was so fun to do because, I was in the military, so I love doing the radio. Military guys love, and women love to do radio chatter. We love to give ourselves call signs and do all that. All of those voices are me. So,
really?
yeah. And I did the squelch and everything. And basically that beginning part of that trailer is recreating the first, couple pages of the comic, with the battle and everything. So that was a lot of fun to do. But yeah, the fact that that it's teasing everything, I'm like, that's cool. That's cool.
You rascal. I was like, oh, of course you put that in there.
Yeah,
amazing.
So that was a lot of fun. So this first part of the campaign page is giving you a brief background on the world and who the main players are in the book. So I talk about the Queen and then the Duke Evgeny of the Dragon of Ganymede 12. It's such a cool sounding name. And then Baron Dominic Chabot, the Prince of New Leon. And and then you go down and I give you a look at their character designs, and then you got the full name of the queen there. I put that there for a reason. It's not going to become apparent though, although I would love for people to send me questions or DMs on what some of those things mean, because every one of those titles means something, and you will find out why it means something as the series progresses. So, and one of the ones I'll point you to, because we talked about a little bit already today, is the prophetess of technology. So
yes,
yeah,
defender of the faiths, prophetess of technology, sword of restoration, like all of those together. I was like, ooh, this is I need to know more. I need to know more. There's a story behind all of these. Prophetess of technology, huh? But of course, now the faith is the only one that can have technology, so that makes sense. So her role is also tied into the faith. Is she the leader of the faith, or is she an acolyte? Like,
yeah. So I'm going to name it a little bit, because I want people to want to know more. The monarchy is the kind of like in England, they are the titular head of the faith. So theoretically, she's the head of the faith, but to the people in the faith who the ruler of the Ecclesiastes want her to be the head of the faith, what is that friction going on? Yeah. So there's a lot of that going on. Yeah.
Do they actually have control? Do they have control over her? Like, how much of that is of her in charge, or her having to be a pawn of this religion or cult?
Especially when
technology. Ooh.
Technology is part of all of society. You can't live with it. Right. In fact, I'll give this away as well. You probably saw this. There's a scene where her image is walking down a long row of people, and just her technology forces everyone to bow down and kneel to her because of the implants she has. So, I mean, that's how ingrained the technology is. So what does it mean when you've got this power struggle for control of technology and all of the aspects of society and everything? And we're going to get into that. It'll be a lot of fun. So
yeah. And I like how like in the earlier scene where he infected the other soldier with the virus, it's almost like her technology controls other technology. You know what I mean? And like, so just by her presence, but that's built into her, and it's built into the society. So what else is built in? That people don't have control over, and that by allowing themselves to be altered with this technology, they're agreeing to maybe they don't even know what they're agreeing to, that other people have control over them, and they're giant.
And you've read the book, so I'm going to give you a hint that nobody else will get, but I'm going to give you a little hint and see what your reaction is.
Yeah.
Certain people in here might be working with other people to get control of bloodlines and stuff. Do those bloodlines, are they part of controlling technology? And what does that mean if a foreign actor gets a hold of that?
Oh no. Oh no. I already knew there was going to be some traitor and espionage and stuff going on, but then you start throwing that in, it's like, okay, we're in big trouble.
Very
and
cool.
I mean, like, you would assume it's the one guy that's already causing problems. I betcha there's others. There's others for sure. Well, there's definitely. Okay, so when you finish reading the story, there's two people that are obvious problems. I gotta wonder who the queen has in her back pocket, though. God,
it'll be. See, I love this because you're already bought in, so you're ready for.
Those two are working against her, but there's got to be someone that's on her side that's somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure there's a spider web, and everybody's trying to play. You know, it's the Game of Thrones. Everybody's trying to one up each other and get control. And it's funny how technology now plays a part of this too. Of course I'm in.
And Queen Elizabeth is no shrinking violet, so she's going to exert her power too. So yeah, so it's going to be great. And I love this character. I love Elizabeth. I just love the name Elizabeth anyway. It was one of the names I threw out for our first daughter.
Really?
You know,
Where does
yeah,
that come from? I haven't heard that before. It's interesting.
it's a Spanish variant of Elizabeth. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, and it was picked for a reason. So, yeah.
I
So,
can see when you put it all together, I'm just like, oh Lord.
yeah. I love playing with names. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yes.
All of my writing, I play with names for, I love to do that. Like one of the characters in the long game, his last name is Dolomayo, which is a play on the Latin for evil day. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I was like,
But,
usually Valor is like pain.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
Interesting.
you are right.
Dragon.
So I was kind of playing around with it, but
we didn't get to meet this character, Duke. How do you pronounce his first name?
Evgeny Rasputin Svarobotsk Arnev. So
okay.
Yeah.
See,
Dragon of Ganymede 12.
it isn't just me, NEM. Everybody's like, I ain't touching that.
I was about to say it.
I will say right now, he is named after my Russian instructor at West Point. So, yeah. My Russian instructor, and he loved to tell us his name, was Vladimir Evgeny Gorshinin. And yeah, he was an ex-KGB agent that defected during Vietnam, and they put him at West Point of all places.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah, because they wanted to keep an eye on him. And
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, he used to berate us all the time. We'd be in there trying to speak Russian and be like, why do you hurt Gorshinin's ears like this? Your Russian sounds like crap. You know?
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. So I brought him in, and he is in the comic.
Did I miss him?
He's drawn different in the comic, so we didn't
Okay.
get this amount of detail. The last page, that guy, the advisor to the queen, that's Evgeny. So that's the Duke. So
Her uncle?
yes,
Oh,
yes, her uncle is Duke Evgeny. So
I missed that.
yeah,
I'll go back and read it again.
yeah. And then this is her cousin, Baron Chabot. So, and
Dominic Victor.
yes,
Dominion,
Dominic.
like domination and victory, like built right into his Alexander the Great, like all in his name.
You and I are right there on the same wavelength. You're picking up what I'm putting down. So
Yeah.
he is a military juggernaut, thus the Alexander. You know.
Yes.
So
He does not like to lose.
No, and he is. I think for me personally, at the beginning of this book, he's the guy you love to hate. You know. So. But yeah, it's very, very cool. And
But I think he is the only guy that's being honest. I think he's one of the only guys who just says what he's thinking. Everybody else is plotting just like he is, but he's just transparent with it.
He just doesn't care. He does what he wants, you know,
right?
Which drives his cousin nuts. You know? So,
yeah. She's like, at least be sneaky about it. And he's like, why?
Yeah.
He's like, pissed me off. I took care of it.
Yeah. Which I think is great, you know? And she's like, this is going to cause me all sorts of headaches. And he's like, and that's my problem.
Like,
How?
My existence. This is what I do.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Fabio to me too, dude.
Oh, yes.
Really, Fabio?
Jeff did that on purpose because that was like when he read the script and, you know, and then the way he was drawing everything, he's like, this dude is a total Fabio. I was like, yeah, pretty much. So
okay. So yeah, I totally get you. And see, that's me as a writer too. I'm usually like, I put all the pieces together, but usually I go the step further. I'm like, so-and-so did it, and here's why. I'm that a-hole in the movie when people are trying to figure out who did it. I'm like, he did it. And then I get up and walk out.
Yeah.
My husband's like, stop it. It's not fair.
Let's see. And then we keep going down, and I added some pages in. Plus, I added some black and whites and inks so people could see the process. So
yeah. Here's the
then,
space monkeys. Look how cute they are.
So one of the things I love about old comics, specifically from when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, were the ads that were in there. Specifically, the ads in the book, like you know, you would have an ad where Batman is throwing a fruit pie to like stop the Joker or something, you know, and for Hostess. And then you had like stuff on the back, like sea monkeys and everything. So
Yeah, sea monkeys.
I was sitting there, I was wondering what I was going to do for the back cover. And I was just going to do a blank back cover. And I was like, I missed those ads. And I started thinking about, it's like space monkeys. So I came up with this whole script. And if you had, when you get a chance to look at the full page, like it's a full ad campaign written in the cheesy way those things were written back then about, hey kids, collect your space monkeys and kill your opponent's your other kids' space monkeys and all this other stuff. And then Mateo, who draws OPSEC, did the art design for this. He drew the space monkeys for me, and I think they're great. I absolutely love the concept so much that, like I said, I want to do a little mini comic on this and see what happens. But people seem to really like the space monkeys, so I think they're going to have to stick around. So
They're so cute.
Yeah. And then the other thing is,
This.
I have always loved like the nerdy tech drawing stuff for like Star Wars and Star Trek and
Yes.
everything. And I have done a bunch of these like sketches for the different art and how the reactors work and all this other stuff. And so I was like, every book we're going to do, we're going to include a blueprint, one of the tech drawings. And this is for the Noble's armor, the Behemoth armor. This is a tech drawing for it.
Ooh.
And it's in the book. And when we get enough, we'll put them all together and we'll publish a tech manual.
Cool,
for
man.
it. So,
This would be cool to even have like as bonus material in like a trade paperback, something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. Yeah.
I'm a
to have-
sucker for maps and blueprints.
not only that, what I want to do is I want to little by little release the history in the books later. So when we have more time and space, write up something so I could give you some details on some of the history or the timeline of the Ganymede monarchy, like the throne and who ruled when and everything, to get people's brains going more. It's like, what happened when that king died? He like took the throne and then died 7 days later. Why did he die in 7 days? What happened? So, those types of things are always cool.
Oh my gosh.
And
Hi,
yeah.
Chris, by the way. Hello, Chris. Steven Seagal.
I don't know. My Russian was pretty bad, even for Steven Seagal. So
Proofread it. Where's the one? I was going to put this one. I thought David was Fabio in his prime.
Oh, of course.
That's funny. You're funny. Hadner spoke up. Leave this one alone. So right away, I was bad to the bone. That's all I'm giving you.
So we did all that, and then that's our team up there. So
You didn't put pictures?
No.
Oh, I want to
But,
see pictures of everybody. That's a big team. Damn.
Yeah, it's so I was the writer, and then I did the video and I did the graphic layout on the book, and then Tosin Awasika, he did all of the artwork and the interior.
Amazing.
Jeff did the main cover as art design, and then we've got Guido Martinez from Argentina did the letters, and then one of our covers was Brian Wilson, and then we got the Space Monkeys from Mateo, and we got David Jackson did the technical drawing, and then there's actually an ad in here that my daughter did. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so. And then these are our main covers. And then these are our stretch goals.
Reveal.
yeah,
All right, let's go shopping, people. So with your goal is 250. Dang.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
hit that in like 3 seconds.
From your lips to
To God's ears.
God's
Yes.
ears. Yes. So
3 seconds.
yeah. I would love for that to be. The book is already, like you've seen, the book is already done.
Yes.
So this is just to cover printing costs to get it out there. I learned from the last time we did a Kickstarter that I wanted to make something that was completely done so that people can know they're going to buy it. And then once we fund, it's like I will go and order the books and have them so we're ready to ship.
Yeah.
Once the campaign ends. So
Yeah. That would be great. Someday I hope to get there. It's one of those things where my budget is, I'm still trying to make the art using the funds that I'm getting, but hopefully we get far enough ahead where we can just keep going. But
Yeah.
that's, I think, the best way to do it, because then people, its turnaround time is so quick. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it's just like, we're funded. I know how many books to order. We wait 4 weeks for the books to come in, and then there we go, people. I know, Hugo, but that's okay. It launches on Monday. The launch party is going to be on the Madness Network, so you'll be able to tune in and watch NEM push the button, and it'll go.
And I'm gonna be on Any One World next Wednesday with Laurie.
Yeah,
too,
with
so,
me.
Yeah.
Again.
So, yep.
We'll talk about it again with a whole new crowd. Very
Yes.
exciting. But that show's a lot quicker. It's only 45 minutes. So be like, all right, now we can't look at shiny things.
Oh,
This show, we
we
can like
just won't get to
stop.
this.
We could smell the roses. We could talk about this, that, the other. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about the campaign again.
Yeah. So,
Oh goodness.
talking about shopping, so we
Yeah.
are doing it early adopter. So the first week of the campaign, you get
Yeah.
40% off of the digital and 20% off the physical.
Oh
So
my gosh.
you can get the digital for $3 and you can get the physical for $8.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
the main cover, the color version of the main cover. So that's what
Beautiful.
the special we're offering.
Dude.
And
that's
then
huge.
we are also offering the black and white. Now, I'm a little biased. I think the black and white is uber cool. So we're just offering that one for $10 straight up right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because I think the black and white is really cool. And like I said, we have alternate covers that will be revealed later on. So we'll see those. And then we're offering a campaign exclusive t-shirt. So
Cool.
this one, I did the design on this one and put different art together and with the logo and everything, and came up with a battle scene here. So we got that going on. And and to the point where you can't see it from that picture, but you see a little blob up in the top left that looks like it's just hanging out. That's actually a decapitated head flying off towards your shoulder. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You can't see my mouth, guys, but if you're looking at the shirt, you see that little blurb that's going up out of the picture. That's a head.
Yeah.
That's my level of humor, Nam. That's where I live. I'm like, oh look. That's funny.
And then we did a Space Monkey t-shirt with
Yes!
Samantha Space Monkey saying, "Will you be my space monkey?"
So cute.
Yeah. So we're offering those
I love
t-shirts.
it.
And you know the way campaigns are, I'll invariably think of some more merch to add
Oh,
between
of
now and
course.
Monday or during the campaign. So, there will be more stuff going on. But we also added stickers. So, and I'm not sure why they didn't render all the way. We've got 2 Space
Oh.
Monkey stickers.
It doesn't let me. What does it do? I've never seen that before. What's that? Tag team or Sabrina? I don't know what that does. But it's
Those are options. That's weird. I got to go look at that on the campaign later, why it's doing that.
see, I
Yeah.
told you, you got to monkey around with this thing. Pun intended.
So yeah, Sabrina is the left space monkey, the female space monkey, and then you got the tag team. So you got one guy riding on another guy's shoulders. So
Oh, so you get one or the other?
yeah, you could choose one.
That's what this is. So that's what it is. The drop down is you get to choose which one you want before
Yeah.
you choose the award.
I just don't know why it put it like that. I'm gonna
That
have to
is
go look
weird,
at that
isn't
and
it?
fix that. Yeah, so that's really strange.
Crom strikes again. Damn it, Crom.
And then we've got a number of character stickers. It's doing the same thing down here, but we've got
Yeah. Here, I'll just pick one so we can. I was hoping it would. There we go.
yeah. So you got the queen. You got the full figure of the queen, and then you got just her face, Isabet. You have the princess, and then you have the duke and the baron down there.
Nice.
And everybody but the baron. I didn't give the baron a cool background, but the other ones are like shiny stickers or
He's so shiny. These
Yeah.
are like that reflective. Oh
Uh-huh.
no, it's just it's like the PNG.
No, that's
background.
that's just a PNG
Gotcha.
background. The other ones have like
the shiny.
different shinies. Yeah, so
We like shiny. Ooh.
yeah. And then if you
Like
really
hip
want
person.
to support us, we got the Rain Cross Press logo. So that's our company logo right there.
Nice.
And then we got a Blood World logo there. So
What kind of stickers are these? Do you have can they go on your car? Like a vinyl
Yes.
outdoor one?
Mhm.
Okay.
mhm.
That's cool.
And then
This
down
would be
below
cool.
is just the books. They're at the bottom right now, but those are the books full price, which I'll move back up to the top once the early adopter expires. So
there's more. Is there more?
yeah, no, I don't know why it does that.
Why does it have 1, 2, and 3 at the bottom?
Yeah. So I will check that out. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but it's to tease you for
What a
to come
tease.
later. Yes.
You're like, there's things there, but you just can't see them yet, Laurie. Like,
Yes. And then we have our stretch goals up there. So the first one is 25 backers. We're going to reveal or offer alternate cover A, which you already saw in the PDF. It's the one that was too big to see, though. So
that's gorgeous.
Yeah, you got a sneak of it, but you didn't get the whole thing.
No, I'm not going to show them the whole thing. Teaser only.
And then no one has seen this cover except for me and Jeff Bracey. Luke Stone
cover.
Yeah, drew us a cover, and it is the Queen, just the Queen. Yes, so it's very cool.
So that unlocks when it at $250. So in 3 seconds, you'll have to reveal it.
Yep, and it'll be on sale as well. And then we're doing 2 sticker packs. The first sticker pack is going to be a Space Monkey one, and we're going to do something that, if I could do it, we might be doing something special with sticker pack. Laurie and I were talking about it off screen. Yeah. But it's going to be something with Space Monkeys that you can build fake battles with the Space Monkeys. So
I think you can do it.
Yeah. Sure. So we'll see about that. And then sticker pack B is going to be something that has to do with technology.
Like it actually works, or
no, like the different technology. So it's gonna be sticker packs.
Oh, it's a sticker pack of the technology. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, are you giving us a decoder ring? Because I want it.
Well, maybe. I'm not gonna give that away yet.
My own product. Let's do that. Yeah.
I do have. I did a Patreon before, and it didn't really take off, but I had this concept where there's the archivist who is chronicling things, and I'm going to bring that back in the sticker pack, where the archivist is talking about different clues on things that happened in the past and things that happen in the future, and where that technology is. And you'll see some of that in the sticker pack. So.
Oh, dude, we're going to live in your meta universe. I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that I love, where I'm like, ooh, I can do riddles, and ooh, I can learn more, and ooh, this character is not really in the story, but he's a side quest, and I get to learn all the things. Sign me up. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah. And I will say, for everybody who's a Dune fan, the archivist is based on Irulan from Dune.
Yes. That's, of course, the best archivist. She's the OG, right?
And
she's like, there's war going on. I'm going to write about it.
Yeah. And everyone who buys a physical copy, when these unlock, would get like the sticker pack A and sticker pack B and the black and white cover print. You'll get that. So
cool. So they're stacking.
Yeah. And then finally, if we reach this ultimate one, which would be fantastic. We're going to do custom collectible figures. Now they're little figures for what we're building towards. And if we get the $10,000, we're going to, besides do several more comics with that money, we're going to jump right in, and we're going to make a tactical miniatures game to play like Warhammer 40K based in the Blood World universe.
Wait. Are you going to be making like minis?
Yeah.
Like paintable minis.
Yep.
Does someone have like a 3D printer to do this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so you will get this first one free, and I'm going to offer you 3 options. I'm not going to reveal what they are now, but this will give us the capital to go ahead and start our line and finish the rule book and have it printed so that you can collect the minis, paint them, and download the rules as a PDF. The rules will be free. What? And you can play the tactical game with your squads that you build. And eventually, Jeff and I were talking about this the other night and figuring it out. So a normal sized human would be roughly about an inch tall, and the tallest mech that you could buy would be about a foot tall.
Oh my God. How are you going to throw a foot tall mini in with 1-inch ones? Like, that's just not fair.
Well, you'll see in the rules. So,
Oh my
yeah.
God. But of course, this
And
makes perfect sense now, because I was like, because of course there's D&D built into this, because well, at least I know, Jeff Bracey's background. I don't know your background with D&D, but oh my God, this is so exciting. So not only will this Kickstarter print the books, distribute the beginning of the story, the meat and potatoes, but it could also possibly launch minis in a D&D campaign with a rule book. That's amazing.
Well, actually not D&D, although that's interesting to do.
Well, I mean, it's a tabletop game for this.
Yeah. It's like Warhammer 40K, which is a
way different. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a battle game. So you move your pieces around and you're fighting the battles. But doing a role-playing game would be interesting as well, but we would probably go somewhere else. And I even eventually would like to do a collectible card game with another aspect of it as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but I would love to do this part first, because mechs and the Ganymede Monarchy and warfare lends itself to, a 40K style game for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, just the mech itself is so cool.
Yeah.
I want to build that. You know what I mean? Because even if you print it in pieces and I get to put it together, I would be happy.
Well, that's what we would do with
really
the big ones, is we would print sprues,
and
send them out to everybody like a model. So
that's
and
cool.
you would put it together. So with customization and the whole thing. So we would do all that, and we would offer them a bit at a time. But eventually, I was working on some rules a couple weeks ago, and I had plans to eventually include all of the drop ships that you could buy and assemble and put them in there, and the different types of armor, and all of that in there for you to be able to play the game. So,
because if we're gonna go into customization, then we have to build it with magnets so we can take things off and put different things on. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I used to play Warhammer quite a bit. Mostly I played Warhammer Fantasy, but I did play 40K as well. And I still have my Warhammer army. In fact, I'm looking at it right now. I have it set up on my shelf.
Cool.
But I loved it. I love playing miniature war battle, war gaming like that. And this just lends itself to that. But then I was talking to Jeff the other night. One of the things, yeah, absolutely.
See what I mean? I was like, because of course that's what is the natural progression for this. 100%.
One of the other things I want to do is I would like to eventually do a collectible card game, which is all about gathering power and politics.
I'm only laughing because you had to repeat yourself when Jeff was around. You're like, and Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, we're going to make a collectible card game. You're on board, right?
Jeff, like I said, Jeff is my partner in crime, man. It's like the two of us will stick around. And I DM a game for them, a D&D game that Jeff and his wife are involved in. But the worst thing, I don't know what Jeff's wife thinks, but Jeff will be like, hey, can you talk for a few minutes? And invariably a few minutes turns into a couple hours. So,
Yeah. Jeff was always the one that recapped our last session, and we would just chuckle as he was recapping our last D&D session. We had fun times. I introduced his character. Jeff, what was the creature that you were? It was like an humanoid insect wizard, Thrag something. Do you know what I'm talking about? Thrag?
No. Mm-mm.
Jeff will have to say it.
Yeah.
Jens, why even bother? The Tyranids are sent by the what? The old ones in the universe to reset anyway.
True.
Yeah, but we will definitely, if you guys do games, like when this comes out, we will be very happy to play it on the network.
Absolutely.
And broadcast it. I'm there.
That would be so cool.
What? I have no idea what's going on in there.
The cool thing, and this is no, I'm reaching for the shiny things again. The
Yay.
D&D campaign that the Jeff and everybody is playing that I'm DMing, I think they're up to level 18 now, and they're all stuck in the first plane of hell right now.
Oh
So,
no!
yeah,
Do they have to go down to get out, or
they don't know yet, and I'm not going to name it for them. But I will say
like,
this:
no spoilers.
all of them are finding it very interesting being stuck in hell, be in a game DM'd by a horror writer. So
They're in for a wild ride. That's all I gotta say. I know you, and it's not going to be fun, guys. Have faith that you're all going to die.
Yeah.
Total party kill. I'm just saying.
But it's a lot of fun.
Here it is. This thing.
Oh yes, I know what that is. Yeah.
Well, I introduced him as a drag queen to the group.
Nice.
Because that's what he said, and I couldn't understand it. My character's name was Luz Butcher, and the butcher part was that she butchered everybody's names, and I would just come up with like stupid nicknames for everybody. So
I have a question for you. I'm curious if you could guess. What year do you think I started playing D&D?
I'm gonna say 86.
1979.
Oh my god. I wasn't born. Sorry.
All right. It's all right.
Yeah, it was the Buzz, the Thrag. What is it? Brickeen? Buzz. His name was like Buzz. It was like real formal. Buzz did something. And I was like, he's Buzz, and he's wearing a dress. He is a drag queen.
It's all right.
We crashed the stream. 79. So you're a professional level D&D at this point? You know all the rules?
I used to play D&D. I played it since first edition, but then I played a bunch of other stuff. I played Gamma World and Boot Hill, which were old TSR games, and Battletech. My friends and I played all those. I was a super uber nerd in high school.
Yeah.
I was like that weird combination. I was an athlete too, so I was like a nerd jock. I don't know what that is. So it's like, yeah.
You have, you broke the fourth wall. Like, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, but we used to play all those games, and I just had a ton of fun, and we would play those. And then eventually I got into Vampire, and I would DM. It's funny, though, you mentioned Drag Queen, because one of my other characters that I played before that character, I ended up taking over DM duties for everybody. I played a Eladrin, which is a type of elf from the Feywild, but I played him so that he was schizophrenic. He would change every day into the 4 different seasons, and he had different personalities, but he was a gay drag queen elf, basically, So like summer was very flamboyant and winter was like grumpy. It was a blast to play. It was so fun.
That's funny. Hugo says, Nem, please tell me they got into hell in a handbasket.
More or less. I think one of the characters would say they're in hell in a handbasket right now. He mouths off. It's funny. He's in hell, and one of the characters really just doesn't care. He's so over it now. He's like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. I'm telling everybody exactly what I think of them. So,
not Buzz. Yes, Buzz. She called him a drag queen because of his wizard's robes. To Luz, it was a dress, and she wanted to know where you got it from because it was sparkly and beautiful, and she wanted one for herself. So
all I'll say to you, Jeff, is you better work. So, slay. For all of you who don't know the old RuPaul song, you
work. Yeah, I'm with you.
God, now I'm going to be having to go watch RuPaul's Drag Race on.
No! You are so black, white in the U.S. and Denmark. Everyone is everything at some part in their life. Yes to all. Was? I mean, still are. Good times, people. Good times.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that I had the powers of a Ferris Bueller, but I kind of crossed groups like Ferris Bueller in high school, which I thought was cool. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be friends with everybody, you know? So,
That's the goal, man. That's where I
yeah,
was too. Like, just want to be friends with everybody. There's benefits to knowing and being in every group, and then you get
yeah.
to play sports and nobody cares, and you get to play Magic and nobody cares, and you get to play music and nobody cares.
I was you know what? I was also a band geek for a while.
Me
so,
too. Yeah.
Until I had to specialize in my sport, but so I kind of dropped band. But my parents were both music teachers, so I grew up with music.
Really?
So, yeah. So my dad was a music teacher until he. This is so funny. He quit being a music teacher, still played in a brass quartet and everything, but took up fireman because it was less stressful than being a teacher in California. So.
That's funny.
Yeah. So,
That's funny. That is funny.
yeah.
So he was in a brass quartet. So did you end up playing brass as well? Did you play
Yeah.
Lindon?
Yeah.
What'd you
My
play?
dad was a tuba player. My mom was played French horn, and then I started out on trumpet, and then
Yeah.
moved to French horn. But I also learned violin and piano. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's it's usually piano first and then other things.
I
At least
learned
that was my
piano.
experience.
I taught myself keyboard because at one point I had the dream to start a band in high school. So, you know, I wanted to play keyboards in a band back, you know, during the synth era of 80s music. I also had dreams of being a composer at one point, besides being a writer, until my mom impressed upon me that unless you are, you know, John Williams, you don't make a lot of money doing composing. So, you know, for classical
This is
music.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, like we can only name like 3 like John Williams, Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman.
Yep.
That's all I got.
And Danny
Can you name
Elfman
any more?
made enough money as a rock star to not have to worry about whether he's going to make money as a composer. So
Seriously. I
Yeah.
wanted to go. Hans Zimmer was doing that. He was touring. And that looked super cool, but the tickets were so expensive. Did you see that where he had a concert and it's like there was a live orchestra, it was a full orchestra, and they had like vocalists and stuff come, and they would play like all the music from his movies, and they would have big screens behind the orchestra so you could watch like Pirates of the Caribbean, the big battle around the Maelstrom, and they were playing the music live. And I was like, why are these tickets so freaking expensive? It was like $289 a ticket.
Yeah.
In the back.
James Horner is another one, but yeah, it's like there are very few of them. But was it like 6 months ago? John Williams actually conducted at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was like a concert of all of his stuff. I wanted to go so bad. I think the cheapest ticket was like $500.
See what I mean? And that's because they're there. Like I had no idea that Hans Zimmer was actually at these concerts. Because then I'm like, oh, that's why they're so expensive. It's because Hans is actually there and he plays.
Yeah. Oh, does he? Wow.
Yeah, he busts out the guitar and I think he plays a piano at some point
That's
too.
Awesome.
But he does play, and so that's what you're paying for is for Hans, not the orchestra.
Yeah. See, I would love. You know, I don't think they would ever perform John Carpenter's music. There's another guy who writes his own music.
There you
go. But man, wouldn't it be great to be able to sit there and have John Carpenter play some of the pieces while you're sitting there watching like The Thing with him or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, live music is just so much fun. It's just the energy behind it because you're actually getting hit with the sound waves from the instruments. It's different than hearing it through electronics. It's amazing. And there's almost like I don't want to say this. That's like I don't want to say like a mob mentality, but it's like you and the audience become like your own entity because you're all reacting with the same emotion to this music. And so it's quite powerful.
I'll tell you, I would pay good money to go see, not even if John Carpenter wasn't there, but someone needs to do a special screening of the 3 apocalypse movies from John Carpenter back to back to back. So, you know, the Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness. So yeah,
I would go see that.
yeah. Do
Yeah.
you know that they're not officially tied together, but he decided he wanted to do 3 movies about how the world ends, and so those are they're called his apocalypse movies. So
Interesting.
yeah. So Prince of Darkness is one I hadn't seen till fairly recently, but that one's great too.
I have
And
not seen
I
that
love
one.
it is so good. It is. When I watched it, I was like, this is the kind of story I would write, because it's about the devil and an old church and science, and it's so amazing. But so is The Thing, and In the Mouth of Madness is a fantastic too. So
Interesting.
yes.
Add those to the list. Add those to the list. Add
Also,
those to the list. Yes,
now that
musical
we're
hive
talking,
mind. This is
awesome.
what I wanted to say. Go
Now
ahead.
that
What were
we're
you gonna
talking
say
about
now?
horror movies, have you ever seen Event Horizon?
That is on my list as one of the.
Oh no!
No. Listen, one
Okay.
of the most watched movies. That is one of the most watched movies that will still mess you up.
Yep.
Like my sister
Okay,
saw.
okay.
Okay. So my sister, who is afraid of the dark, and has always been afraid of, like, had to have a nightlight on as a child, has seen the worst horror films before I did. And so she's scarred for life. And then I'm like, give me more, right? So she saw Pet Cemetery before I did. And I was like, I need to see this, right? And then she was like, do not, whatever you do not see Event Horizon. So I was like, bring it on. And I watched it. And I was like, what the am I watching? It's great. It's great. It's great. If you guys haven't seen Event Horizon, go see it. It's about a crew that was researching this black hole, and the ship disappears and then comes back after this amount of time. And so this other team boards this ship that has apparently gone through the black hole and come back, and they're trying to figure out what happened to the crew. It's messed up. There's some gory stuff that you will never be able to unsee. It's great. It's great. It's choice, right?
Such a cool concept. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so disturbing, though. You're absolutely right.
It is.
And then another one. You know how I am with evil kids and evil dolls. Have you ever seen Village of the Damned with Christopher Reeve?
Village of the Damned. I think I have them, where the little blonde children with their eyes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen that, but that is a great watch too. Where it's just like, oh, don't piss them off. Please don't piss them off. They really don't want to eat that fruit roll up. Don't.
Yeah. and what happens to? Here's a little spoiler, a little mini spoiler. I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but Kirstie Alley is in that movie, and what happens to her? Oh no!
So,
yeah,
it was like Children of the Corn, but worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Children of the Corn is another good one. Yeah.
Yeah. The original. Like everything else has, it has all these stupid sequels where like Hollywood gets their meat hooks into something that was really good, and then they just make it worse.
We were talking about this movie the other day, though. Another one that I love. We get all excited about horror movies. We're talking about comics, and we're like, let's go straight to horror movies.
Let's talk about it.
Needful Things. So
I don't think I've seen that. Who's in it?
I don't remember the names of Ed Harris is in it. I know that. Yeah, but I know it's about a small town, and the devil comes to town and opens a pawn shop called Needful Things.
Oh,
yeah. So,
and it's like the thing that you want ends up destroying you.
Yeah.
Stupid mouse.
So fun. I love that movie.
It's Stephen King. I mean, there's been so much really good Stephen King, right?
We did Cinema Crusaders last week. We did a show on Christine.
Yes.
And Jeff is the only one of us who had read the book. I haven't read the book, and he was telling us a little bit about what's in the book. And that's got my writer's mind thinking from a screenwriting perspective. I was like, there's so many cool ways that they could have rewritten that movie. Not that movie's bad, but it's like there's so many other things they could have done as well. So
that's NEM and I today. I'm sorry. We just can't. We're just like, whoa, shiny things, zombies, squirrels, squirrel.
It's a squirrel on the path of the Pale Rider.
Oh gosh.
One What is the Path of the Pale Rider?
Oh, it is Path of the Pale Rider, anyways.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Village of the Damned from the early 60s. Yeah, that was good too. So Rosemary's Baby.
Damned. Rosemary's Baby. Oh, such a
Yeah.
good movie.
The
one had
Omen.
you guessing from the beginning about what was really happening. And
Or some
I
of
would
those
say
old,
Hereditary's that way too, a more modern take on questioning your own sanity. You know what I mean?
yeah, some of those cult camp movies from the 60s were good too, like Bride of Satan is one, and I mean there's a bunch that just
Haven't seen it.
Here's one more.
Yes.
I will throw it out and then I will stop talking about horror movies if you want to go to something else. But did you ever
Oh man,
see
we only got 9 minutes left.
Did you ever see The First Power with Lou Diamond Phillips in it?
First Power. No.
Oh, put that on your list. Put
Okay.
that on your list.
The
Very,
First
very good.
Power.
The First Power. I'll give you a little blurb. So the first power, they talk about the first power, the second power, the third power. The first power is the power of resurrection. And they talk about this little blurb at the beginning was given to God. What people don't know is that the devil had it as well. And then it shows the serial killer being killed. And then you go from there. And Lou Diamond Phillips is the cop that killed the serial killer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dun.
Yeah.
I love Lou Diamond Phillips too. He should be in more things.
Yeah. He is really, really good.
Sorry, Pops. Rosemary's Baby was filmed in Dakota Building where John Lennon lived and was shot. I didn't know that. Rosemary's Baby is such a good movie.
Yeah. It's a mind trip too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love the movie
Hereditary
stuff.
too.
The Omen movies. 1408. There's a movie that always messes me up. 1408. So.
Yeah, the hotel room, right? It was a hotel room.
Yeah. With
they go
with
in
the Carpenters playing. So
it's not creepy at all.
Yeah. I will tell you, that movie ruined that song for me. Whenever I listen to that music every now and then, because I grew up with it with my parents and everything. So if it comes up on my Spotify playlist, I get creeps going down my back, you know. So
yeah. There's people have weird feelings about music. My sister used to go on road trips all the time, and every time a Tom Petty song came on, she would see someone get into an accident.
Oh.
So she's just like, if Tom Petty comes on the radio while you're driving, change the channel.
Yeah. Well, it's like
oh my gosh,
the movie The Fallen with Denzel Washington. I could never hear that Rolling Stones song again. You know,
time is on my side. Yes, it is. There you go.
I'm looking over my shoulder, going, "Oh, stop."
Oh no. Yeah, when Dan Aykroyd sings it, it was like, oh my god, time to go.
Great.
That's a great one
movie.
too.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've covered all the bases. This was a great time. I love hanging out with Nem because we just have such a good time. It's so easy to talk to you. And yeah, thank you for coming on the show, showing us your really cool project. For everybody, you can follow this. I think you could sign up to follow on, right?
I don't think you can. That is the one thing that they don't have that I wish they did. So please just bookmark the page till June 10th. So,
yeah,
just a
June
week away.
10th, this is going to go live. Well, again, you're going to be tied into the madness. So everybody, you'll be reminded when we go live on Monday, like Through the Madness goes live, and then Nem will be back. He'll push the button and then we can all go flock to here and get him funded in 3 seconds. And then he has to release the other cover.
I will also say that if for some reason you can't back us in this campaign, and I want you to, so please do. But if you don't, we will be bringing our book digitally to Any One World later this year. So,
woohoo! Gotta love Any One World. I'm there.
But you're gonna back it on the campaign, so doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Get the physical. I like getting both. Honestly, I like getting the digital because that's where I like binge read.
Mm-hmm.
And I get through the story. I want to know all the twists. I want to know all the turns. I want to know. And then when I get the physical is when I take my time and I look for all the Easter eggs, and I look for all the things in the background. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they both have their merits. So whichever way you want to go, people, we're here for you. There's an option.
That's
And then don't
absolutely.
forget, you can get your Space Monkey stickers.
Yes. And your Will You Be My Space Monkey shirt as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, now tell everybody where they can follow you, what shows you're on, all that good stuff. And then
Yeah.
we will wrap it up here.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, or X, Facebook, and now on TikTok, even though they banned my video because I used the word seduction.
You have to the thing about TikTok is you have to misspell everything.
Yeah. So, but you can find me there all at the same handle at Nemesis FC2. So, you can also find me on YouTube, and it's some weird thing. I will get that to Laurie at some point, or I'll put it up on my X account. And then evidently the Teen Titans are coming for me. So oh my gosh.
What
That's
happened?
my ring. That's my ringtone. Oh no,
Oh.
what did I do? Jeff is calling me. And so the Teen
dang
Titans
it,
is playing. Yes, you can find me there or go to dwhoward.com. So you can find updates on all my writing projects, special offers. I'm going to be releasing sample chapters of the next book and other stuff. So you can find that all on dwhoward.com and sign up for my newsletter. So, yep.
Yes. Then we can sign up for the newsletter and find out all the good stuff when it drops. You want to be numero uno, bragging rights.
Yes. Yep. So I am working on a sample chapter for the next Michael Domenicali novel in the Long Game series that I'm going to be releasing on there. Do some special offers. I'm even going to I want to do something with the campaign that if you sign up and you back a physical copy, anybody who does that and signs up on dwhoward.com, I'll have a raffle and I will write you in as a character that gets killed in the next novel. So
yes, that's what I want. I don't know. It's just some weird fascination. Like we want to draw you in and then we want to squish you. I think it's great.
Yep.
And that, my friends, is the show. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, follow, share, all of that good stuff. I got to say it because I need you to do it so we can continue. And make sure you go to the GoFundMe so we can set up the Roku. It just helps us with the business expenses for setting up the Madness Entertainment Group. All of that good stuff. And then we will catch you next week. I have more indie creators coming on the show where we get to look at, be distracted by shiny things and talk about comics. Whippa! Later, everybody. Be excellent to each other and kiss your babies. See you next week.
Make you unashamed, and comics are your escape. Put a little madness in your life. Come give your mind a cleanse. Tune in with pops and friends. Just turn on your Roku box and then put a little madness in your life.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit CB